Hi, I'm April.
And I'm Adam.
We're from Langham.
We are Henry and Olga Peters from Saskatoon.
I've been a camper at Ranger Lake Bible Camp for 6 years.
I've been going to Ranger for the last 3 summers. Been a Wrangler, LIT, JC, Senior Cabin Leader, and now I'm going to be Riding Director this summer.
I attended Ranger for the first summer last year as maintenance.
We heard about from Ranger Lake Bible Camp way back when Olga was asked to go and cook for camp.
From a good friend, Shayna. Her parents went to Ranger Lake and they really liked it. And she goes there and she really liked it, so she told me and lots of other people about it.
And she took our 4-year-old daughter with her, and she spent a whole week at camp.
That was 46 years ago.
I heard about Ranger through April, who has gone there for the last 3 years.
I found that it helped us to bring up our children better, to understand what God had for us.
My favorite camp memory happened my first week at camp. I didn't know what goes on, I didn't know anyone, so I was just kind of going with the flow. And it was girls' camp out night, and Krista told me that we get to play a game with the boys. And I was like, okay. So we go down there, and there's this huge field full of mud. I look at it, and I turn around, and I'm like, no way, and I start walking away. All of a sudden, Brad comes booking her up behind me, and just body checks me full force, and I do this full face plant into the mud. I was covered, like completely covered in mud. There was no inch of me that was not dirty. And I just stand up and everyone's just cheering and just laughing at me. I turned over and I was like, thanks, Brad. Thanks a lot. It was so funny.
As maintenance, I did a lot of work with John and Tristan, so my favorite camp memory is with John and Tristan on my first week. We had to go put the cover on the teepee. So I'm standing on top of a teepee, aka wooden sticks bound with string, okay? Standing on top of teepee as we put together the cover is probably one of the most sketchiest things I've ever done, but one of the most hilarious times ever with John and Tristan.
My favorite camp memory is probably the campfires and just like the singing and stuff.
Came to camp not expecting too much, just expected it to be another summer job, and I have left camp with some of the best friends that I still hang out with pretty much almost every day of my life. I've gained a steadier walk with God. I do a lot more with Him, and He has just been my guidance since camp.
One thing that I learned from going to Ranger Lake Bible Camp is that Christ came to save sinners and not man-made denominations, and I had to really work on that to get that into my mind and heart.
When I first came to camp, I was kind of an on-the-fence Christian. I had a really tough year at school with friends, and so I didn't really feel like I had anyone. So camp provided me with a lot of good relationships and taught me a lot about love for others, and just blessed me with so many friendships that I'll have for the rest of my life.
Ranger has influenced my relationship with Jesus through like singing and chapel.
And also camp gave me the courage to go do things with a servant heart outside of camp. And without camp, I wouldn't have had the courage to go on a missions trip to Nicaragua. So, that played a big part.